Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Cheap Seats. This is the FPL edition of our Cheap Seats show. We've got the guys in giving us all their tips for game week 37. Two more to go. So hold on. It's not that done. I know Wahid had a great weekend, so we're going to start with him. However, before we do, let's have a look at the kit of the week. It's a lovely one from Classic Shirts ZA. Dean, look away for a little bit. It's the last season when Arsenal wore the Dreamcast shirt, 2000 to 2002. Look at those white sleeves with that blue trim. Very, very lovely. I might just put this in my cart using that Cheap Seats code, Cheap Seats 50. Remember, you can go to Cheap Seats for all your kit needs, even the new kits that will be coming in from the new season. So please do go check them out. Remember, Cheap Seats 50 is your discount code, and also remember to follow them and follow them at Classic Shirts ZA on Instagram, and also go to their website. So, Wahid, you had a monster week this week. How many points do you have already before the North London derby starts? Because we're recording this on Thursday.
I have 143 points with White, Saka, Kulusevski, Nketiah still to play.
Luckily, White and Saka aren't playing, so it's fine.
Okay, Dean, how was your week?
Terrible. Captain Salah, man, didn't start one game. Got like three. Like FPL's bad when Ben Foster outscores Salah. Like then FPL's broken. So it's one of those things that just happen. You have to take it on the chin, move on, and then there's only two more games. And honestly, I'm more worried about Spurs finishing top 4 than me winning FPL. So have to choose one or the other.
Tips, how was your game week 37?
I was very lucky. I took a few points hits to bring in Jesus, and he just did nothing. But I also played my bench boost chip. And as Dean said, I had Ben Foster waiting for this moment, and it was the right time. First time that Watford got a clean sheet at home, and the boy got bonus points galore. Not just that, even Chelsea assets did well. And Captain Son as well, when he scored against Liverpool, lost my mind. And there's a North London derby where he's going to be very, very essential tonight. So hopefully I can get into the okay.
No, that's cool, Tips. Thank you very much for that. We've also, so on my end, I got 80 points. I used my bench boost. The only thing that came out of my bench boost is David Raya. My bench actually somehow got Sice got that yellow card that made him got to get a 0. Mateus Vidra didn't play. And then so now I'm stuck with Saka tonight, who's not going to play. I've got Aaron Ramsdale as well as I've got Son. So I'm in a little bit of trouble, but 80 points from a double game week. That's okay. We'll just move on to game week 37. What we normally do here on Cheap Seats, we discuss the transfers in, out, as well as differentials and captains. So we're going to start with Dean, who is our leader. Dean, you're not making any subs, but you said you're waiting for a moment. What is that moment that you're waiting for? And please tell us about Luis Diaz and Son as your captain.
So, yeah, I think Salah's been out of form since he's come back from AFCON. I think it's pretty widely reported. And he's now, you don't know if he's starting. You don't know what Klopp's kind of minds. And it's the FA Cup final on Saturday. So he might be resting him for the FA Cup final, Salah. But if Salah just doesn't perform in that FA Cup final, I'm very tempted to do Salah to KDB. It might be a bit of a knee-jerk reaction just based on KDB scoring those 4 goals. If you look at it on the balance of fixtures, Liverpool's probably got the easier run. They got Southampton the next game, whereas City have West Ham. So Liverpool probably have a better game there, which is why I'm waiting and seeing. The deadline's only on Sunday, so we'll wait and see on that one. But on that, I think a good differential is Luis Diaz. He's come into that Liverpool squad, made them instantly better. He's got that like turn of pace. Sadio Mane is playing much better in that central role now with Luis Diaz out on the left. And he just seems to be getting those goals, getting those assists where others where Liverpool weren't ordinarily getting them from. One thing I will say is Kulusevski's got more goal contributions than Luis Diaz. So everyone is talking about Luis Diaz being the savior of Liverpool, but Kulusevski's got more goal contributions than him. So just a little Spurs punt there. And then captain's son, Burnley. Once we beat Arsenal tonight, I think we're going to go on a great run and beat Burnley, beat Norwich. Son's pivotal to that. So 100% captain's son. Probably were to captain Richarlison, but then you see he does nothing versus Watford. So I think I'd rather go for someone I know is going to perform in Son rather than someone who you hope performs like Richarlison.
Okay, that's actually quite an interesting outlook in that Luis Diaz pick. Teppo, you've gone KDB all in after those 4 goals, my man. Taking out Mo Salah, you are going for the jugular, and your differential is Zaha.
Yeah, so as Dean already mentioned, Salah hasn't really been performing much since AFCON. And like, obviously, you're going to be afraid to take out Salah. He's been the GOAT of FPL. But in these 2 last games, you sort of want to maybe move up your mini league. So you have to do something a little bit unconventional. And you need to be a little bit ballsy at this time. And I think the thing about Kevin De Bruyne is that he's so integral to that Manchester City team that even before these 2 games, the 2 nail players in my book were basically Cancelo, Diaz, and KDB. So Kevin De Bruyne can pull out an assist, can do something, and he's constantly been doing that now. He's on form. He's just scored 4 goals. So just ride the wave and, get a little bit of extra cash in the bank. My differential was Wilfried Zaha. Especially if you're going to think about like transferring someone in and you're not doing like a free hit now. He has a double game week now, and then he plays against Manchester United. And let's be honest, Manchester United aren't really playing football at the moment. So that would be a good person to have for these 3 game weeks. If you come out with 14 points at the end of 3 game weeks, then you know you've done a good job. He's also on penalties. Yeah, it does pretty well with the eye test as well. So he's pretty good there. And in terms of my captain, KDB, but also Son is also a pretty good shout. Has 2 decent game weeks. I believe it's Burnley and then Norwich. Literally 2 bottom table teams. And Spurs need points. Like, they need points. So why not get someone that is competing for the Golden Boot in a team that need him to step up, and he has the ability to do it, and he's also on form. So it's basically a toss-up between Son and KDB. But as Dean said, he's at the top for a reason. There's a lot of time. I'm not going to rush into any transfers just yet. We're going to wait until Sunday to actually make a decision, because Sunday deadline means they have ample time.
Ample time indeed. Wahid, you put all your eggs in the Everton basket, hoping Everton stay up. Richarlison everywhere, my man.
Yeah, I generally have played with 5 midfielders and just 1 striker, because I've got a solid defense. I've got Cancelo, I've got James, Matip, White, and Cancelo, and I've got Coleman on my bench. So I've generally played with 4 defenders and 5 midfielders and just the 1 striker. And I was thinking about changing it up a little bit this week and playing with the second striker, because I had a little bit of cash around, and I thought that Richarlison might be a good bet, because they're fighting for their lives, and if someone's gonna help the situation, it's probably going to be him. He's their best player, and he's the one who's most likely to fight hard and pull them out of this rut. So yeah, so for me, I went with Dennis out and Richarlison in because I could, and yeah, I think that the rest of my team pretty much picks itself, and I've had a good game week this week. The other option I had, which I might still toy with, is taking out Salah. And that would take a 4-point hit, but you know what? After 143 points with still a few games to go, I think I can afford the 4-point hit.
You are like 5 millionth in the world. You can do anything. No one cares, bro. No one cares.
I was thinking about taking out Salah and putting in like a budget midfielder like Bruno Guimaraes, and sticking in Harry Kane as another striker. Just also Spurs sort of have a lot to play for, and Harry Kane is their talisman.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah,
just
that's an
quickly want to
interesting
jump in
one.
there
Mm.
with Wahid's budget person. Definitely consider Gordon since you're on that Everton train. He's very much nailed on there. He's like about 4.6 as well. So you could get some decent points. Just putting it out there as a budget option.
Before I do my one, Dean, I know you've got a hard close soon, so don't worry if you go after the slide like magic, it's all good. My picks for this week, I'm bringing in Coutinho, I'm taking out Mason Mount, bringing in Hudson Edward. Obviously, Richarlison's my captain. My Mount pick was largely because I don't think that Chelsea have anything to play for now that they've secured European football. He did score a worldie, but that was against a very poor Leeds team. Haven't gotten a lot of production out of Mount in the period that I've had him at. There's always that Chelsea rotation that bothers me. The other thing is Hudson Edward. I was looking for a Crystal Palace player. They've got some nice fixtures over the weekend. They've got pride to play for, and Hudson Edward is leading that line right now for Palace. So I thought maybe bringing him in. Richarlison is my captain because he's the guy who's got literally everything to play for. If Spurs win and beat Arsenal, I'm picking Son as my captain, largely because I know Spurs are going to try go for those 6 points. However, if they lose, I'm going with Richarlison because then obviously Spurs know their fate. Thursday night football, and yeah, that's essentially what it is. Any final comments going around regarding any sneaky captainy picks, because it's a double game week, so there's some teams that are playing twice.
The one thing I will say is Chelsea Liverpool will rotate after the FA Cup final. There's a lot of games very quickly. I think the league is now decided. In my opinion, I don't think Liverpool can come back. So I think they're happy with second, so they might rest up a few players.
Are we saying that West Ham are going to do nothing?
Yes. And I also think Chelsea are pretty happy with third after they beat Leeds. So I think they could probably rotate. I see Lukaku playing a lot more in the last 2 games to try and get some confidence. Maybe rest James because of his injury concerns. So there could be a lot of rotation in those 2 teams, particularly.
Tips on your end?
Jamie Vardy, start the party, baby. 2 goals yesterday against Norwich, guys. Don't forget about this guy. He is the talisman of Leicester. He has a double game week now. Although one is against Chelsea, like he's the one that could pull off an upset if you have the funds. If you like spend too much on a striker. If you're thinking maybe Richarlison's not as quality as I really want, and I want something a little bit better, and you have the funds, Jamie Vardy, shout out to that guy.
Cool. Thank you very much, guys. That brings us to the end of our show. Remember, the deadline is on Sunday at 11:30 after the FA Cup final. So if Liverpool get walloped, best believe Mo Salah is going to probably be rotated out of there, as per what Dean and Tepper have said. Outside of that, enjoy the weekend of football. Enjoy the FA Cup final. And yeah, all the best with FPL Game Week 37. We'll be back to talk about the final game week. We finally reached the end of the season. Outside of that, goodbye, good night, and le sale cacajizo.